Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Group on YouTube. Today we are talking about the G1 Climax, G1 33 in New Japan, which starts on the 15th of this month, 15th of July. And obviously, if you're watching this, I'm pretty sure you know what the G1 is by now. You know, it's the biggest tournament in wrestling each year, lasts for a month. 32 wrestlers compete in 4 blocks. The winner of each block then face off in the semi-finals, and then the winners of them go on and face in the finals. And then when you win the G1, you then get a shot at the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. So, Kazuchika Okada won the last 2 years on the bounce. And you know, with it coming up, I just thought it'd be good to do like a little preview video, and just have a talk about the G1 and what's happening this year, and obviously go through the first round matches and give you my predictions of what I expect for the first round, and also to predict and give the favourites for the block winners of each, the winners of each block, or the predicted winners of each block, the favourites if you like. So this year there's 32 wrestlers that are into it. You know, obviously we've got some notable names like your Okadas, your Tanahashis, your Nayato's, Tomohiro Ishii's, you know, people that have been doing it like pretty much every year that it comes round. And then we've got some new names, especially Eddie Kingston from AEW. That's a big name people are starting to look out for. You know, a lot of people are expecting the likes of Mox or Danielson, even Claudio, to go over and do the G1 this year. But we got Eddie Kingston, and I think Eddie will do well. It'd be interesting to see. He's just won the Never Openweight, the Strong New Japan Strong Openweight Championship. God, there's that many belts that they've got now in Japan at the moment. If they're not using New Japan Strong other than just for pay-per-views, they might as well just like merge all the belts. But never mind. But he's a champion, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. And then we've got, I always get the pronunciation of this name wrong. Kiyomiya. Kaito Kiyomiya, I think that's how you pronounce it. Kaito, we'll call him Kaito, from Noah, which I'm really interested to see what goes on with that. Obviously I didn't know too much about Noah. I've only really ever followed New Japan, and I've seen some matches, but you know, obviously this guy, Kaito Kimiyoya, something like that. Anyway, I'm sorry I've butchered his name, but like, what can you do? So obviously he made some noise not too long ago against Kazuchika Okada when he kicked him in the nose, and then that led to them having that storyline where, you know, he called him out for a match and Okada said he wasn't going to turn up, and then, you know, he turns up at nowhere and hits him with a Rainmaker after he's finished the match, and then obviously they face each other on a one-on-one, and yeah, so Okada beat him. But since then I have gone through and I've watched some of his matches, you know, his matches against like Keno and Jay Clay and stuff like that. So he is a good wrestler. I do enjoy him, and I think he's definitely one to look out for in this tournament. Be interesting to see how the other wrestlers treat him as well, with him being from a different company. Same with Eddie Kingston, obviously. But yeah, so there's a lot going on this year, and it will be interesting to see in what matches who's going to come out on top. The good thing about G1 is I don't never really think it's overly predictable. There might be a few things that you can predict, but a lot of the time it is still 50-50 in matches, and it does throw up some shocks that you don't expect. A few years back I started getting into New Japan, a good few years back now, and at one point I was watching like the G1 every day, and I watch every match, and I'd go through it all. And to be honest with you, I'd like to say I'd still be able to do that now, but with work, kids, and obviously everything else that I have going on, it's just not doable. Like, because the time zone in the UK as well for New Japan's like 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. I start working at 9. I have to get the kids up and get them ready from like 6 o'clock in the morning. do the school run, and then I go to work for 9. So it's just not possible anymore. Whereas when I used to work on my old job, I didn't start work until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I could always watch all the matches. But anyway, there's still matches that I will definitely go out my way to watch. I more than likely won't watch every match, like I used to back in the day, but there is a good few matches that I'll make sure I definitely go out my way to watch. But so yes, so it starts on July 15th, and I'll run through the first round matches, and I'll talk about the favourites for each block. So up first we have Yoshihashi versus El Phantasmo. Yoshihashi obviously is in a team with Goto, and they are the IWGP Tag Team Champions. You know, always has a good showing, does well. But El Phantasmo's obviously just had the whole situation where he, you know, was kicked out of Bullet Club, and he's like reinventing himself at the moment. So to be honest with you, I'd expect El Phantasmo to take this. Just for the simple fact that he's trying to reinvent himself, he's trying to find his feet, and he's going out on his own, probably for the first time in New Japan as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes for him, and I think, you know, start with a nice win here against Yoshihashi. Chase Owens versus Gabe Kidd. Now, to be honest with you, I'm up and down on who's in Bullet Club and who's not. Because David Finlay obviously has his core group now that he's brought members in and made it stronger and made them like, you know, like killers basically. Some absolute boss people he's brought in, signings if you like, he's brought into the group. I know Kent is still in the group. Is Chase Owens still in Bullet Club? I'm not sure, to be honest. I should have really looked that up beforehand, but I'm not sure if Chase Owens is still in Bullet Club. But to be honest with you, like, he's the most forgettable member of Bullet Club probably of all time. But anyway, Gabe Kidd, obviously he's doing big things now in Bullet Club. He's coming, he's part of this new, you know, aggressive style of Dave Finlay he's bringing in. So I expect Gabe Kidd to go over here. Dave Kidd, who's Dave Kidd? Tongaloa versus Kenza. Now obviously Kenza's just lost the belt to Eddie Kingston, so it would be sad to see him take back-to-back defeats. Having said that, Tongaloa, we haven't seen him in a ring now in probably over a year, so I would like to see Tongaloa get a win in his first match back. You know, I'd like to see Gorillas of Destiny somehow get back together in after the G1. I think it's about time they look at that again. Tamar had a decent run as a face wrestler, you know, become never openweight champion and stuff. But for me, like, yeah, Gorillas of Destiny, man, you need to get them back together. The tag division is lacking. I know they've just added obviously the Bullet Club teams, which is great, but you know, you need Gorillas of Destiny in the tag division, especially for the tag league later in the year. But yeah, as much as it pains me because I do like Kenta, and I do feel like he needs a win. Tongaloa probably needs that win just a bit more with him being out for such a long time. Shota Umino, I love Shota, versus Ren Narita. Don't know too much about Ren. I haven't watched much of his stuff, I'll be honest. He does a lot of the early matches, so I don't know too much about him. But Shota Umino, I absolutely love him, and you know, he's just been named as one of the next 4 coming up that New Japan have backed, if you like. So you know, Shota's doing some good stuff, and he's starting this angle with Kazuchika Okada as well, which is interesting. So I expect Umino to go over here and get the win. Kazuchika Okada versus Great Khan. Great Khan just lost the Rev Pro belt last night, so unfortunately he took a loss there, but obviously that's not New Japan, and I can't see. I like Great Khan as a person, and like if you follow him on Instagram, some of the stuff he does is just absolutely wild. Absolutely loves living his best life, this fella. He's not brilliant in the ring. He's probably one of the weakest members of United Empire, if we're honest, but I like the dude. I do like him, but he's not going to win over Kazuchika Okada. I think if anyone takes a pin over him in the G1, it's either going to be Shota or Ospreay, but that remains to be seen. But I don't think it's going to be Great Khan. Yota Tsuji if I've pronounced that one right, I'm terrible with these names, me. Versus Kaito Kiyomiya. See, absolutely shocking this. So Yota versus Kaito, we'll go with. Which is an interesting one. You know, Yota's literally just come back from excursion, come straight into the heavyweight title picture with a bang as well. Had a good match, had a good showing against Sonata, and you know didn't quite pull off the win there and the upset. But this would be his first outing in the G1. And we can get to see properly what he's all about. I mean, if you followed him, then you've seen he is a good wrestler, and he seems to have improved during his excursion as well. Like I say, he had a good showing against Nada, but it's different to see if he can have a good match with one guy or see if he can have a good match with some of the top guys on a consistent basis. So this would be good to push him. Again, another one that's been named as a future star for New Japan. And then obviously, like I say, Kaito, who's just come over from nowhere, or has been borrowed from nowhere. The talks on New Japan actually do want to make that deal happen where they can bring him in. Whether Noah's going to want to lose one of the biggest names or whether his contract's up soon, I'm not too sure. But it's a nice little teaser to find out whether or not, you know, will he suit New Japan, and will New Japan make that move. So I would go with Kaito Kiyomiya for the win. I expect him to do big things, to be honest. I expect him to go far in this tournament. But I do with Yota as well. So this is one that's proper got me on it. 1 minute I think one thing, 1 minute I think the next, which is good. This is why I like the G1, and to be honest, this is why I like New Japan so much. I don't watch it as much as what I used to, and know that there's people that watch it more than me, but like I do try and keep up with it as much as possible. And one of the main reasons why I do like New Japan so much, because it is really hard to predict quite a lot of the matches. And I think this one could go either way, but I'm going to give it to Kaito. Next up, Taichi, who loves to sing, doesn't he? Absolutely awful, but the Japanese seem to love him. This is Will Ospreay. Well, I'm not putting anything other than a Will Ospreay win here. He's had a good, strong outing. You know, IWGP US Championship against Kenny Omega twice this year has been phenomenal. You know, he's just retained won back the belt. So, you know, I expect again big things from Ospreay. As always, like, you know, he's absolutely killing it in New Japan, and hopefully when his contract's due up, he just signs and stays with Japan. I don't think anyone's going to use him to the potential which Japan will. And it would be a big loss to the company as well if Will Ospreay left. So, but I expect a nice easy win for Will Ospreay here. Sonata, who's obviously the world champ, versus Hikuleo, who obviously, you know, he was the reason why Jay White left New Japan, in storyline, to get him eventually to go over to AEW. But I mean, they haven't done too much since. You know, he won the strong openweight championship against Kenta and then lost it back to him, which I didn't understand the booking decision there. Why would you take it off and then drop it straight away? But yeah, it's one of them. Like, Hikuleo needs a good showing, definitely in this G1. I mean, for him to have beaten Jay White and send him packing from New Japan, that's a big thing. Like, Jay White was massive in New Japan. You know, he was the first ever to hold every singles title that was available. So we need to push on with Hikuleo and make him look strong and make it mean something. There's no point in him just like beating him and then it comes to nothing. Like we've seen in other companies, that's happened year after year. But like, hopefully they'll do something and push Hikuleo on now that you know, he's had that big win in his career. But having said that, I can't see him beating the world champion in the first match of the tournament. So I'm gonna have to go with Sonata, who obviously has been doing brilliantly at the moment. Tomohiro Ishii versus David Finlay. This should be a really good match. Tomohiro Ishii for me is one of the greatest wrestlers ever in the G1. I mean, if you go and you list top 10s, if you go and you look at lists of top 10s and top 5s and stuff of G1 matches, you know, Tomohiro's in there multiple times. He's had so many bangers with so many different wrestlers, with your Kenny Omegas, with Jay White, with you know, Suzuki, with just so many names, Naruto. Like he just has absolute banging matches, man. I love Ishii. I think he's great. And David Finlay, obviously, he's just started this new version of Bullet Club, bringing it up. He's the never openweight champion. He's looking to push on and make a name for himself as the leader of the Bullet Club. What better way to do that than make a name for yourself in the G1? But again, it's going to be against Ishii, so expect it not to be as easy as he thinks it is. Hopefully, I mean, I know I like where they do the attacks and stuff for Bullet Club, because they do look like killers, they look like animals, which is what you need. But if you want to make him believable and you want to push him on in the tournament, then we don't need David Finlay to be beating Tomohiro Ishii in the first night by a dirty tactic, shall we say. So I'm going to say David Finlay takes the win, because he needs to push on and become a force within Japan if he wants to be the leader of the Bullet Club. Haruki Goto and Toru Yano. Now, Goto, I've always enjoyed watching Goto. I think he's a great wrestler, former G1 winner. Should have been a world champ at some point, I believe. I do really like Goto. On the other hand, Toru Yano, I don't get it. Like, everyone seems to love him but me. Like, honest to God, I know I've spoke to Joseph Parr and he loves Toru Yano. I've spoke to Corbin and he loves Toru Yano. It's just literally me mate Ben Freeman. He loves Toru Yano. It literally just seems to be me. I don't get it. I don't like him. I don't know why. I just can't take to him. And it might be the whole comedy aspect, but there has been like comedy style wrestlers over the years that I have enjoyed. I don't know, maybe I'm just a bit more growing up and I just haven't got time for it. But like for me, like I get he's a big thing in Japan and the Japanese do love him. I just think he's a wasted spot in the G1. I know he'll pick up some wins and some shocks and shit like that, but like come on, like there's better wrestlers there that could be taking this space. Well, saying that about Chase Owens as well, but there is better wrestlers that are not in this tournament that could be instead of a joke like Toru Yano. I'm sorry, I don't like him, I don't rate him, and I don't want him to win a single match, to be honest. So I'm going for Goto. Mikey Nichols versus Aaron Henare. Henare, man, he's beast. I love him. I think he's superb. He didn't know too much about him. Like I knew bits about him beforehand, and then obviously when he come back and then he joined with the United Empire, I started watching a lot more of his stuff. Obviously, she's back on TV and stuff, but like for me, Hanare should be picking up the win in this. Like I'm hoping we get a good strong showing from the United Empire, and we don't just get a strong showing from say like Bullet Club or TMDK, because they're newer factions. Like United Empire, man, they run New Japan at one point. For a couple of weeks. No, but seriously, like I love United Empire. They're one of my favourite factions right now, and obviously Forged in Combat, Blackpool Combat Club. Probably my top two factions, to be honest. So yeah, Hanare for the win there for me. Shane Hayes versus Alex Coughlin. Well, Shane Hayes from TMDK, and then Alex is obviously from Bullet Club, the new reimagined Bullet Club, the new aggressive Bullet Club. They're no too sweet stuff anymore. They're just killers, go out there and destroy people. Do you know what? It's a 50-50. This can go either way, but to be honest with you, I'm going to go with Shane Hayes. I am. I'm going to think that he gets the first win there for Team TMDK. Shingo Takagi and Eddie Kingston. Now, this is one that's got people's eyes going. People are interested in this. Eddie Kingston's first showing in a G1. Shingo, I can't remember Shingo having a bad match. Unfortunately, with Shingo though, since being in the world title picture and then obviously coming out of it, they just don't know what to do with him. They've had him with obviously the Cow Pal, the king of pro wrestling, and then they made it from a little trophy thing into a blue belt, which looks absolutely terrible, by the way. And it's just again another championship that we do not need. They need to scrap all these bit part championships off and just bring back the IC. Give me the IC title back. That's what I want. We don't need a blue strap belt, the Cow Pal championship. We don't need it. Give us the IC back. But nevertheless, Eddie Kingston, like say, fair showing in the G1. Obviously just won the strong never open weight. So where'd you go from here? Like I say though, Shingo has stalled. For me, he should have been like a US champ by now. Like a proper belt, not just like a blue crappy toy one. Give him like a US belt or something like that. And that is like I enjoy the fact that they do mix it around with AEW, and they do mix it around with the American side of it for the US title, because it does make sense for the belt, but it does then put a suffering on obviously on New Japan in the meantime. You know what I mean? Shingo could have held it, Naito could have held it in the meantime, where instead, it's over in America and it's being defended every like once a month or once every 6 weeks or something. But I think the match would be great. I think it could be one of the matches of the first round. It'd definitely be brutal, but I mean, it's got to be an Eddie Kingston win, surely. I can't imagine him winning the belt and then straight away in the next match losing his first match in the G1. So I'm going to go for an Eddie Kingston win. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. This is an interesting one. Tanahashi is a legend. He's a living legend. What is he now? 46, 47, something like that. I actually thought he was older, especially the way he moves in the ring now. Doesn't have it is what he did, unfortunately. And, it was evident in the last couple of pay-per-views I've watched him in. His match at Forbidden Door didn't look too good then. The match against Swerve Strickland on Rampage beforehand wasn't the best. And who did he face when he done the Impact crossover with New Japan? Was it Mike Bailey? I'm sure he faced Mike Bailey in that. And he's just, I don't know, I think his body's catching up to him. He's not moving as good as he should. He's not hitting the moves as smooth as he could do. But I know that they love Tanahashi, and they'll always keep putting him over for as long as they can. But Zack Sabre Jr., man, he's been killing it. I'm not his biggest fan. I respect what he does. I do enjoy watching the odd match. I can't sit there and watch him for hours like good with other wrestlers, but I do like Zack Sabre Jr. And I think he's been absolutely killing it with this new TV title that they've given, especially with these 15-minute matches and stuff. Coming over to Ring of Honor and doing it in Ring of Honor too, and had a good showing at Forbidden Door as well. So, do you know what? I'm going to say Zack Sabre Jr. takes this. I think he'll beat Tanahashi, might even make him tap. Tama Tonga versus Evil. Evil's crap, sorry. I liked Evil and Sonata together, and then they put Evil on his own. I just don't rate him. I don't rate him at all. I think he's awful. He's boring. He's bad. He's just terrible to watch, really. Like, I mean, if you're looking at it now, like Evil and Sonata as a team were good, and they worked well together, and they've both now been world champs. Most people forget about Evil being a world champ, because he just should never have been world champ. Definitely shouldn't have been Naito for the belts. Tama Tonga, I've always liked Tama. I do. Like I said, I want him back in the Guerrillas of Destiny though. Give us back the Guerrillas of Destiny. He's had a decent showing. I prefer him as a heel, I prefer him as a bad guy. Get your long hair back, get your face paint on, get your beard back, let's go for it. Look like your little mad Roman Reigns wannabe that people seem to think he is. I'm not fussed on his Iron Man gear thing, the red and the gold thing. I don't know, doesn't suit him. Definitely he's better in black. But no, he's had a good show and he's done alright. He's had some decent matches, Jay White and his matches for the Never Openweight Championship as well. He's had a good showing. He's done well, and I hope he goes over against Evil in this one, but New Japan seems like Evil for some reason, so I wouldn't be too sure. This is probably another one that could go pretty much 50-50, but I'm going to back Tama Tonga. So it takes the last match of round one, which is Tetsuya Naito versus Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb is my outside pick to win this whole tournament. I love Jeff Cobb. He's an absolute machine. He's an animal. I think he's brilliant. I would push him to the moon. Like, if I had a company and I could sign anyone in the world. Like, I love, obviously, like, my favourite wrestler right now is Jon Moxley. Jay White, you know, Will Ospreay, they're all my top guys. They're my favourite guys that I'll watch all the time and go on my way to watch. But if I had a new company and I was starting a new company, the guy I would build my company around would be Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb is just brilliant, and I don't care what anyone says. Like, and Tory Islands is what a finisher. So Tetsuya Naito though, it's unfortunate, isn't it? Like, you just don't rate him anymore, don't use him anymore. I know there's been issues over contracts and stuff, and money and stuff like that. You know, them trying to get him to sign a new contract, and up to now, I don't think he signed a new contract. I don't remember seeing anywhere that he signed a new contract. But they've not done a lot with him for a while. You know, he was world champ, wasn't he? He won the duo belts. He won the world title and the Intercontinental title at Kingdom, and had his night spoiled by Kenta. Then it was the whole thing, then trying to get him to have his big night. You know, and then he beats Kenta, retains the belt, loses to Evil, man. How can you lose to Evil? But like, since he's been in the world title picture, like since he left that, they haven't done anything with him. The only time he's ever on cards in like 6-man tags and stuff. It's so frustrating. He is a good talent, and again, it's another reason why I think the Intercontinental title should come back, or the US should stop disappearing to being in the US with a US company. Is because it is damaging the championships in New Japan. Like, they've got the strong belts as well, haven't they? You know, the strong open weight and, you know, the strong tag team belts and stuff like that. But, you know, they haven't got the history and stuff, have they? So, like, Naito for me should have been a US champ by now. And they need to start booking him better. Otherwise, do you know what? Let him go. I don't think he'll go anywhere other than Japan. But it'd be interesting to see if Naito turned up in Noah, how long would it be until they put their world title on him? Because he is good, he's a great talent. I do really like Tetsuya Naito. And I think it's a damn shame that he's not used better in the main event. Let's be honest now, like, Naito really, they should be one of the absolute favourites of this tournament. Should be. But he's not. And the reason why he's not is because he's constantly in 6-man, 8-man, 10-man tags. And it's like, well, why is he doing that? Use him properly. Do something with him, for God's sakes. He is such a talent, and if they lose him, they'll be stupid. If he goes over to Noah, mate, he'll be world champion within 3 months. I'd like to see it happen. I would. Like, I've never wanted to see Naito leave New Japan, because I do. When I think of New Japan, there's so many stars that you think of. Naito is always one of them, and he's one of the main reasons I started watching. You know, with Okada, with Kenny Omega, and the likes of them. You know, Naito was always consistently good. They're just not using him, mate. So, you know what? If there's a chance for you to go to Noah, I'd take it. I'd go and become a world champion in Noah. Why not? But anyway, yeah. So my pick here for me is Jeff Cobb. Mainly just because I can't see New Japan doing too much with Naito in the future, and it's sad. I can actually see Naito being one of the ones that doesn't pick up a victory at all in this tournament, which would be devastating. But the way they're going with his booking wouldn't surprise me. So yeah, Jeff Cobb for me would take the win against Naito. So we have previous winners that are involved in this year's tournament. Is Hiroki Goto has been a one-time winner. I think it was back in 2008, if I remember. Tetsuya Naito has won it twice. Hiroshi Tanahashi has won it 3 times, and Kazuchika Okada has won it 4 times, and he won it back to back the last 2 years. So, who are the favourites to win each block? So, Block A, the favourite is the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Sanada. The favourites in Block B, now Block B is the only one with 2 favourites, is Kazuchika Okada or Will Ospreay. And there's no surprise why there is a double one there with both of them being in. That block, you can see it being pretty tight between those two at the end. Block C, David Finlay, obviously, like I say, he's starting to try and make waves in New Japan, so he's the favourite in this block. And Block D is Zack Sabre Jr. Like I say, again, been doing great things at the moment with the television title, and coming over to America. showing what he's worth. So that is all I have for today for my G1 talk. Obviously preview the matches and stuff. My winner for me, I would have Jeff Cobb win it. If Jeff Cobb didn't win it, I'd have maybe Ospreay, but I'd like to see Ospreay win the G1 because he's not won it, and he'd be the first English born to win the G1, which would be a great thing. But I don't think Ospreay needs it right now. Tetsuya Naito needs it. You know, I'd like it. Do you know what? I'd say my top two picks. My picks is who I'd want to win is Jeff Cobb or Tetsuya Naito. They're the two I'd want to win out of this whole tournament. I think they need it. I do. I think they need it probably the most out of everyone. So that is all I have for today for the G1 preview. Thank you so much for watching. As always, keep an eye out for more wrestling related content coming soon. More unboxing videos, more rankings videos, more AEW Fight Forever videos. I'm going to start posting more of them. And more WWE 2K videos, and hopefully some more new exciting products coming throughout the rest of the year. So let me know in the comment section, who do you pick to be the G1 Climax winner this year? So July 15th starts and ends August 13th, I think, so it runs literally a month. G1 Climax 33. Let me know in the comments right now who's your winner. And as I say, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you soon.